I am going to attempt to beat this godlike ARK mod in 100 days. I will need to defeat all 10 bosses, including Kardraz the Fearless and a boss that is a thing of nightmares. If I fail to complete this challenge, I will give my car away to a random subscriber. Here we are creating memories in our new ARK modded adventure. And this here is a massive green gorilla. Let's see if it's friendly. Oh, I guess it's friendly. How nice. So I guess we need to start gathering our first materials. I guess not. Great, I feel like this is going to be a pretty rough experience. We respawn next to this wrecked ship and reminds me of my YouTube channel, Dead and Broken. Thanks to my Twitch chat, I learned that I could break down these barrels and gain some resources and tools. I was kind of hoping for beer or rum, but this will do, I guess. We scored a metal hatchet right off the rip. I guess this is a great start for day one, so let's gather some more resources. I also crafted like 100 chibis. It's kind of a cheese way to get some easy early levels, and Evo looks pretty cool. But as we started to explore, we were murdered by this blood red Gallimimus. I don't know what I did to piss off this galley. I thought they were friendly. Guess not. Okay, third life in, and just over a minute, we gathered enough resources in this location to start a little starter base. But before we could, I got into a little bit of trouble with a tree. Okay, fourth time lucky. We gathered some resources and actually started to place down our base. I needed a place I could hide from this mod because it seems like every dino in this mod is an AronAztek hater. The morning of day 2, I got chased down by this glowing dodo. I was unsure if it was friendly, but I assumed it wasn't. That stupid chicken just kamikazed my ass. With all these dangers around us, I had to finish my base and enclose it because who knows what else wants me dead. Might be a good idea to place a bed down too. Maybe now that I've got a bed down, I can get a decent sleep at night in my own base. At least we had that because the next little while was kind of horrendous. Since I died so much, I couldn't spawn back at my bed, so I had to run back to base, and when I got there, I had this guest waiting for us. This is Harambe's brother, and he's pissed at his brother's death. And yeah, he eventually got his revenge. Day 3, we made some deity tools. These allow you to gather souls, which are important to craft items specific to this mod. Whilst we were out gathering our souls, it became dodo time. Okay, back to the early grind. I was also feeling a little chilly, so I decided to put some clothes on. Boom. Gotta respect my drip. Gotta respect the drip on them feet too. Then I placed down this Gaia statue. This allows us to create Gaia terminals, which are all named after the most famous Greek gods, that are basically crafting benches for this mod. The first terminal that we created was the Artemis terminal that allows us to craft some taming gear for this mod and other things. We then grabbed this metal pike and started fighting this dodo. And during the fight, somehow tamed our first tame? Not sure how this works, but we got a Pegomastix out of it. Too bad that night this dreadful PT wanted my Pego dead. Day 4, and we named this day the Day of the Dead. Until we met our new best friend, this heavenly dodo. I brought this dodo back to my base to ensure that safety in this cruel world. I then finished this day off by poking this stick up this tortoise's ass. Eventually it died from its immense pleasure, but thankfully we could now craft an unlimited use bowler. Day 5, I tamed this Velonosaur, which I hope helps us progress some more. Then together we went to take on this dreadful raptor. Once we got its attention, it mounted me without my consent and ended my life. I feel kind of violated. Then the raptor had the audacity to kill my new friend, the Velonosaur. I realized that this raptor was pretty powerful, so I thought I would tame it. I knocked it out, and then I went back to base so I could craft and place this Ares terminal, which will allow me to craft the dreadful raptor saddle. Once tamed, we put the saddle on our dino and went off to murder its first prey. I'm glad we now have a decent tame. That should hopefully help us quite a bit in this early part of the game. Day 6, we finally knocked out a Pteranodon, and now we have a flying tame and can move on from this horrible area. I quickly ran back to the Zeus terminal and crafted a divine Pteranodon saddle so that we could ride this bird like the wind. For freedom! Now that I have a flyer, I didn't want to waste any time and took off to find a new and permanent base location. I searched around for a little while, then I landed on this location by this cliff. With my PT, I kited this saber off the cliff so it wouldn't eat me, and then started gathering some resources to start building our very own base. But then this happened. Yeah, we were attacked by this roaming Omega Wyvern. This is so damn frustrating as everything was starting to move forward for us, but now we're set back. Lucky for us, I didn't take my raptor, so it wasn't a complete fresh start. When out killing dodos, I saw this purple glowing creature in the distance. That there is a hunter dino, and they only attack tamed creatures. As it was charging for me, I pulled a high IQ move and quickly put my raptor in a soul ball. Hahaha, sucker! But then to make things even worse, I got chased down by this turquoise colored thyla, which stalked me all the way back to my base like a creep. Day 7, I found another pteranodon close to base, so I quickly knocked it out. And when I went back to my base to make a saddle for this bird, an alpha Garci raptor snuck up on me and assassinated my raptor, then finished me off. Once I had respawned, I saw my raptor's dead body. This was sad. But fortunately, one of my Patreons was there taking care of the raptor that had killed me and my friend. I could now saddle up my pteranodon and head back to the location that I decided to set up our new permanent base. This time, I was extra cautious of my surroundings when I was farming materials and filling up this storage box. Once we had a few things sorted, I could get to work on building this base.
Hey, what is this, boy? And who are you?
Who, me? Wait, you see me?
Yes, you weird-looking sorry sack of potatoes.
Oh, well, this is ARK. It's a game about dinosaurs?
ARK, huh? Well, is it historically accurate?
Not quite, but it is a lot of fun.
Fun? I don't have enough time for fun, boy. You need to get yourself playing a real man's game.
Look, I'm kind of building my base here.
Well, let me tell you about Enlisted. You know, the online multiplayer shooter game about World War II.
Okay. I'll give it a try, only if you stop yelling so much.
Enlisted is in fact historically accurate. You can even play this game on all major platforms. PC, Xbox Series XS, PlayStation 5, and all previous generations of consoles. And have I mentioned, it is completely free. So you have no excuse but to join me on the battlefield, you Mr. Potato Head looking big baby.
Broad charge, we're going into battle. And we go pop, headshot. Now I do feel the historical accuracies of this game, obviously. It's nice having a sniper rifle. Dead. Victory!
Now that you have enjoyed this game, please go and tell the people why they should too.
Okay, right. Guys, use my link in the description to play this game now for free. It's free, right?
Yes, goddammit, it's free. And what else are they gonna get if they play?
You will receive a free bonus for registering using my link in the description. 3 days of premium time and several orders of troops and weapons. Hey, feel free to add me. You might even catch me in game. I will be streaming this live over on Twitch, so come through. Okay, can I go back to building my base now?
No.
We finally finished the start of this base the next day. I had then realized that I had been working so hard I was dangerously thirsty. So I jumped on my pteranodon and flew down to get a drink, but I didn't make it in time. I passed out. Rookie move. Luckily though, nothing was dangerous around me, so I woke back up and then flew back to safety. Day 9, we set off on our pteranodon to go and collect some items from the beacons around the map. Once we collected some things, we put it in this storage box. I have no idea what half of these items are, except I did find this carcass grinder, which apparently when you smack a tree with it, narco berries pop out. I don't get the logic, but hey, I'll take it. Fun fact, it also harvests keratin from corpses too. With these narco berries gathered, I can now craft Gaia tranks. Now we can really start taming some dinos to continue our adventure. Again, I found myself thirsty, so I went back to get a drink, but this time we encountered a green saber. It must have been hungry, and I became its dinner alongside my PT. Once respawned, I just accepted that I had lost everything and started to place down all the Gaia terminals to progress in this mod. Day 10, while we were out gathering metal, we spotted a PT flying close to us, and I took this as an opportunity from the gods to tame it and get back into the skies. I whipped up a saddle and took flight as soon as possible. I then tried to retrieve my body down in the valley, but the green demonic saber was still there. I waited for an opportunity to get my body back, but this saber just wouldn't leave my body. When I finally found a good time to get my stuff back, it all despawned and is now lost forever. RIP. Day 11, we found this divine trike on the volcano area, so I took this opportunity to tame it, as trikes were one of my favorite dinos in ARK. Once tamed, we brought this dino back to base and named him Jesus, or Jesus. After all, he is divine. We then took him out to gather some berries all around our area. The following day, I built this trap as I wanted to try and tame a snow owl. There are a lot around our base, so why not? This trap is kind of scuffed, but let's just see if it works. I then got the attention of this divine snow owl and started to sprint towards the trap and lock this guy in, but I didn't make it. Since it one-hit me out of existence, I tried returning on the back of my trike. Since I knew I could shoot off the back of this trike, I figured I'd be quite well defended. The snow owl was kind of acting a little bit weird flying into the gate like that, so I tried fixing up my trap. But when we took our chance to get the snow owl in, it didn't show much interest. We then tried a different method of taming it by bowlering the owl and laying a trap over it, which seemed to work perfectly. So I started to trank it out, but as I was shooting the bird, a hunter dino came out of nowhere and started to attack my Jesus. And the stupid hunter dino also killed Jesus. He must have been Jewish or something. And after all that, the owl escaped. Now it's day 13 and I wanted to go visit one of the realms, but while we're waiting for the teleportation, I had to form a tribe for some fun. I named our tribe the Aztecians. And now we're here in the realm of Asgard. We did find this abandoned town and there was this little sheepy. Hello, little sheepy. There were also some dangerous things in the background and I didn't really want to die in this strange realm. So I rushed to safety and teleported back to base. Finishing off this day, we went and kidnapped this divine dodo and took it back to base, and then I told it was never allowed to leave. Ever. On the 14th day of our journey, I spent the whole day gathering as much resources as possible from all over the map, as we knew we'd need all of this to progress further and achieve our goals. Day 15, while we were out exploring the Fjorda wilderness, our Pteranodon was suddenly slaughtered out of the sky. This was pretty frustrating, so I took my anger out on these rocks. It helped, kinda. Day 16 and I placed down this awesome teleporter. This will at least allow me to get my gear back if I was unfortunate to die. Since I don't have a flyer right now, this might be a lifesaver. With that in mind, I did go out and try and tame another snow owl. And we did find this one, ironically, in the snow. This time, I went with the good old-fashioned bowler strategy and put this big-eyed chicken straight to sleep. I'm really not sure why I didn't do this earlier. And I think I'm using stronger tranks now. That's probably why this happened a lot easier too. And of course, as soon as it was tamed, we took it to the skies, which felt rather nice since snow owls glide rather well. Day 17, we're back on the resource grind. Like I mentioned earlier, this mod requires you to grind out a lot of resources. Day 18, we had a snow owl and it had a bit of speed on him. So I went down to the Wyvern trench to see if we could snag ourselves our very own Wyvern egg. We checked all the Wyvern nests, but nothing there was a really decent level. So we quickly flew out before a Wyvern could light our ass up on fire. So I spent the remaining part of this day just renovating my base, and that's when I came up with a pretty cool idea on what I wanted to do. With getting a Wyvern egg a little bit of a fail, I decided to stay back on my base and start renovating a little bit. I had a pretty cool idea on what I wanted to achieve for this base, so this renovation kept going all the way over to day 19. But as we were going, Atlas came to visit us to show us his new demon wyvern, which I must say looks freaking awesome. But he did mention it's not very strong, so yeah, I might not go out of my way to get one of these, I guess. We then continued working on our base renovations until we were visited by another wyvern, but this one wasn't so friendly. This was a frost dodo wyvern and it was pretty mad. I'm not too sure why it's so angry. It's probably because I kidnapped its younger cousin. It weirdly got stuck, so I tried to trank it out, but it decided to run away. That's when I realized I'm the dominant one and he's not getting its little cousin back. Honestly, day 20 was kind of boring. All I did was try to murder things with my snow owl, but it wasn't working very well. Instead, we went back to base and turned into ice and hid because everything was kind of scary. Quite the contrast from the day before, huh? Day 21 and we flew back to the Fire Wyvern Trench. Luckily, no flying lizards were around. Well, that I could see at least. A few of the nests were empty until we found this level 100 Fire Wyvern egg. And I guess this will do for now. I stole this egg to separate it from its mother. Wow, I'm a good person. Then I took it back to base and set up some torches to warm this egg up and convince it that its mother is nearby. I now placed down a soul terminal, which to be honest, I should have just put the egg in there to incubate. I didn't think about this now while I'm doing this voiceover. Day 22 and we sat in front of this fire until our baby wyvern was born. Not gonna lie, but these baby wyverns are kind of cute until they grow into large scaling beasts that melt your face. I named this lizard Godby. Kind of a weird name, but I'm kind of running out of ideas. Then I had now added a mod called ARKs, which allows you to build bases a lot easier than normal. I highly recommend this mod. And with this, I continued on my renovations on one of the sides to create a crop farm. Oh yeah, and that's the sleeping Anki. I guess when it wakes up, I'm gonna make it be our friend. Day 23, our greenhouse was complete, so I placed down these Gaia crop plots. Then I went out and tamed a few dinosaurs, starting with this fallen Pteranodon. We then went out and tamed a divine Dodec, and finally this divine Stego that we named Steve. Day 24, we went out to plant some seeds in our crop plots when I realized these crop plots don't work, and I couldn't find out why until I checked the Gaia 2 website. It literally says these crop plots don't work, don't use them. So instead I use these stone Gaia crop plots. They're kinda OP as they self-water and self-fertilize. But the most exciting thing about this day is that Godby, our Wyvern, has all grown up. He's less cute but more powerful, so we will take him. We took him out to test him, and honestly he's not that great yet. We will work on that. Oh, and remember that sleeping Yankee? He's all tamed up, and our friend. So we took him out to mine some metal. The next morning, a big-eyed chicken followed me into the base, and it killed me. Once I respawned, I took it upon myself to bowler it so it couldn't move, and I knocked it out from a safe distance. Now usually this would be something that I should tame, but no, it needs to die. Day 26, and we're building another building. What is it, you may ask? Well, I'll tell you in a couple seconds. Yes, this is a beer hut. We're going to brew our own beer. Time to get lit. With our beer hut ready, we had to wait for it to ferment and brew. So I took our fire wyvern out, Godby, to go and murk some dinos around the area. Day 28, we returned to the fire wyvern trench. This time we were lucky and we found a level 180 fire wyvern egg. So I quickly snatched it up and made my way out of there before I got burnt alive. Later that day, we found this level 150 fallen pteranodon. So of course I had to tame it. Shot it in the head, knocked it out, waited a little bit, and now it is forever our slave. Not long after taming that fallen pteranodon, we stumbled across another level 150 fallen pteranodon. This time it was the opposite sex, so now we're gonna have an OP mating pair. We tamed this, took them both back to base, threw them out in our farm area so they could start making love. Day 29, we started working on more renovations for our base. This time working on the other side of the crop farm, building another room that we're gonna use for other things. And here's a super satisfying montage for you. With that side set, we now have our base kinda complete. I call this base the shaft. With the shaft basically complete, we had to be able to fill it out with all the things that we're gonna need to complete this Gaia modded 100 days. Day 30, we did some real exploring on our snow owl, all the way through the snow biome to the volcano and even into this weird purplish cave kind of area. It's kind of unique. And I gotta say that Fjordor is a really cool map. And while we're out exploring, we found this high level demonic griffin. I'm pretty sure this will make a really good addition to the team. So I threw a bowler at it, kept it still, shot it multiple times, put it to sleep, and tamed this green lion chicken. Now that we have this demonic griffin, I was under the impression that it did torpor damage. So I tested it out on this pteranodon and found out it doesn't. We then flew over to the volcano area where we found a level 150 Dreadful Rex. I really wanted to tame this guy, but I didn't want to lose my demonic griffin, so I swapped it out for my wyvern that I had on me. I landed on top of this rock so I could have some high ground so I could shoot down this Dreadful Rex, but it ended up chasing me up the rock. It was that damn scary, even the wyvern flew away. Stupid wyvern. I tried to bowler it with the Gaia bowler, thinking maybe it might work. It doesn't. So instead we kept running around in circles while I shot it with some tranks. Eventually it started to run, so I went over to go get my fire wyvern Godby, and it was getting attacked by a hunter dino. And then the unthinkable happened. Yes, we lost Godby. Luckily, we still had our demonic griffin, so we popped him out and ran over to find that Dreadful Rex that ran off earlier, found it, and knocked it out. We had some kibble on us, so it was a pretty quick tame. Right after, just down the ways, we found a level 140 female Dreadful Rex. This means we now have a high level breeding pair. This time, I just stayed on the back of the demonic griffin and shot it with our tranks. It was actually quite a lot easier than I thought it would be. But when we knocked it out, we got chased down by a savage Rex that kept attacking us. Fortunately, it wasn't that strong and we killed it with ease. Once this was tamed, we took both of our new Dreadful Rexes back to base, placed them out, and started them breeding. Our goal for this is to be able to breed and mutate them to make them some of the strongest dinosaurs in our server. Day 32, we left our Rexes back at base and went out to go get some cementing paste from these beaver dams. We flew down and then jumped off the griffin and then collected the cementing paste out of this beaver dam, and as soon as I did, another one spawned straight in. That's pretty lucky. I looked up and down comes flying a demonic wyvern. I wasn't about to get into some trouble with this one. so I flew out of the way. I realized it was kind of passive and didn't really want anything to do with us, so I went back down to go collect the other cementing paste, which seemed to piss off a lot of beavers around the area. As the night fell, we spotted a red drop in the distance, so we went and collected it, which just so happened to have a special summon elixir in it. With this item, you can summon in any kind of dino from the mod, so of course once the sun came up, we tried it out, and we summoned in this decaying trike. Decaying dinos are pretty cool and they're super powerful, but they come with a catch. Their health depletes over time. So we're just gonna put this guy away in a soul trap so he doesn't die. Day 33, we took our Dreadful Rex out to see what kind of damage it could do. And with a few levels in it, it was pulling off 1,200 damage. And now some of the even more powerful dinos in the Gaia mod aren't really that scary anymore, including this big green glowing gorilla. After sacrificing some of the wildlife around just so we can get even stronger, we faced off against a hunter dino, and being able to do 1,300 damage, we got to slay this purple glowing piece of crap rather easily. Day 34, we went back over to the volcano once again. We're at the stage where we kind of need to build up our strength of our army and get some really powerful dinos. We found this level 140 dreadful wyvern egg, and I knew this would be an amazing addition to our team, so of course I yoinked that. Then I went further into the magmasaur area, found some eggs and yoinked them. They were pretty decent level eggs and pretty easy to take, so hey, our army's getting stronger and we're looking better day by day. Day 35, we continued strengthening our army by taming some more dinos, starting by this divine Therizino. I threw a Gaia bowler around it and then shot it with a trank. That's when I saw something in the distance. Yes, a hunter dino is coming to attack us. These things are extremely frustrating. I end up kiting it away and then going back to tame the Therizino. It wasn't too happy that I was shooting it with tranks, and it killed me. I then returned, bowled it again, and then shot it out to put it asleep. This time it was a little easier. I flew right up into the sky just out of render, just so hopefully nothing would happen to it while it was taming up. We waited for a bit and then flew back down to go collect our new friend. Next, we took our Dreadful Rex out to go kill some more dinos. Then we saw this gassy Megapithecus. Fun fact, now when you kill them, another dino can spawn in of the gassy variant. But as you can see, this wasn't going to be easy. There was a decaying giga trying to munch our butt. We did kill the gassy variant and another green monkey came in. These monkeys actually do torpor damage, and I really wanted to tame this. It would make it a lot easier for us to be able to tame something like a dreadful giga later on. But the decaying giga was just relentless. It wouldn't leave us alone. I ran away so our Rex wouldn't die and dove straight into the water, hoping it wouldn't follow me. Thankfully it didn't. I then gave up on trying to tame the big gorilla and teleported back to base. Now I think it's time we get ourselves a decent armor set, so I make this armor. It's part of the Gaia mod, and I think it's time for a bit of a haircut. We're looking a little scruffy. Once it grows, it'll look like our signature look. Day 36 was a pretty relaxed day. We started the day off by breeding more of our dinos. As you can see, we have quite a lot of eggs here. Then we took our Therizino out to go collect a ton of rare flowers. We need a lot of them to be able to craft some Gaia resources. And finally, we tamed ourselves a Gaia snail. We got this so we could generate passive cementing paste so we'll never run out. Day 37, we finally made use of our Gaia portal. We summoned in a forgotten Anki. Now these forgotten dinos can evolve 3 times, making them stronger each time. But the forgotten Anki in particular can harvest metal from any rock node. So we summoned it in, tranked it out, and tamed it to become our friend. At the end of this day, we crafted ourselves a Gaia Skypool. It basically works like a grinder, but is specifically used for modded Gaia items. Day 38, we took ourselves and one of our Dreadful Rexes over to Asgard just so we could feed our Rex. After all, there's a lot of things we can eat around here. I then found this nice open spot here and placed down a teleporter and another Gaia portal. Why? Well, because I wanted this to be our boss fighting area. I didn't want it to be really close to our base, and Asgard's kind of cool place for this. Right after, we found ourselves a Gaia bunny, so I shot it. But when you do damage to these things, they electrocute you. I then tamed this little pink Easter rabbit. Why? Well, fun fact. Over time, these guys will drop random dinosaur eggs from the Gaia mod and will come out at whatever level they are. Day 39 and our Dreadful Rex took a little bit of a beating from eating all the dinos around the area. So just before I teleported back to base, I harvested some metal because the nodes here look a little different. Then went back to base, put our Dreadful Rex in the soul terminal so it could heal up and get nice and healthy once again. Shh, heal up, our friend. you may rest now. It's now day 40 and I was feeling a little adventurous. I checked out my awesome teleporter to see what other places we could teleport to around the map. So I chose this random world boss terminal to teleport to, and we ended up in a honey cave. I did a little bit of exploring, saw some Gaia snails that were very high level, tried to tame them, and realized I couldn't. So I left them alone and basically just left because it wasn't as exciting as I thought it would be. Day 41 was kind of a random day. I went back over to the swamp area and I don't really know why. Maybe I was trying to find another snail or something. Like, who wants to be in the swamp area? This place is trash. Day 42, we went out to go and kill these wyverns. Now the wyverns are pretty strong in the Gaia mod and I want to try and get myself one, but you can only get them by summoning them in with a Gaia wyvern shrine. And you need these items: the wyvern wings, the wyvern soul, and there's something else. I just can't really see it in front of me right now. Day 43 starts with us hatching a crap ton of eggs. I mean, like, look, that's a lot of baby dreadful Rexes. We do end up killing them all though. We don't need that many right now. We're actually trying to find a mutated one so we can make our dreadful Rex army quite strong. These ones are not strong. I then return to the Gaia portal and summon in a forgotten beetle. Now we're gonna have basically unlimited fertilizer that I don't really know why we need, but we're gonna need it because I know the Gaia crop plots fertilize and water themselves anyway. So yeah, I mean, it's good. Trust me. Our next mission of the day was to create this. This is the DLC Crafter. Now the DLC Crafter can help us create element. We need element because I really want to have a replicator, but it's not going to be an easy task. As you can see, it only creates element dust, but we can turn that into element. To be able to get element dust though, we need stimberries and stone. And a lot of it. So straight away I went outside to go gather stimberries on our Stegosaurus Steve, and I'm telling you now, this is not a lot. It's going to take probably another 10 to 20 more days to be able to get enough berries. Day 44, I had the bright idea to just plant stimberries. After all, we're going to need a lot of them to be able to start getting some element. Now I know most people will be like, oh, why don't you just fight the bosses? Unfortunately, because of the Gaia mod, I don't have access to be able to kill alphas in order to be able to fight the bosses on the Fjordor map, so I can't get runes, etc, etc. I mean, you'll understand. Day 45, we teleported to what I'd probably say is the best looking realm in Fjordor, Vanaheim. I mean, look at it. It's just so green and lush. We then went to go meet up with Atlas to go see what he was working on. And as you can see, he was laying out plans for a massive base design that he always tends to do. I wonder if he'll finish it before we finish this 100 days. We did a little bit of exploring on our snow owl and came up kind of empty-handed. I was kind of hoping to see some really cool creatures here. There just wasn't any around. We did find this guardian stego and we need some resources. So yeah, of course, we killed it. The next 3 days, not a lot happened, but some little quick things. So I'll explain what they were. Day 46, we went to the redwoods and made ourselves a sap farm. This is also public, so if you end up on the server, you can kind of go there and teleport in and out and collect the sap, whatever you need. Day 47, I met up with some other Patreons and we took down an Aether Guardian all together. It was kind of hard to watch. As you can see, there was a lot of numbers just flying out everywhere. We kind of thought it was going to be a tougher fight than it was. It wasn't hard, it just took a long time. And day 48, I took my Dreadful Wyvern out to go kill this Gassy Stegosaurus. Oh yeah, I have a Dreadful Wyvern now. Did I forget to mention that? Once we killed the Gassy Stego, a cursed Stego spawned in. So yes, of course, you know the routine. We tamed it. Why not? Day 49, a few things started to get a little interesting. I wanted a really strong tame and I couldn't figure out what I was going to tame to be able to get it. Dreadful Gigas was just super hard to get. I can't tame them solo with just the tranks that I have. So I figured I'd try and summon in a forgotten dino. Since they can evolve, once they get to the highest tier, maybe they'll be super strong. We're just going to have to find out. The first creature that I summoned in was this forgotten wyvern. Unfortunately, it was a level 45, which it just won't be strong enough. But we try and tame it anyway. Next, I summon in a forgotten DodoRex. Maybe this will be powerful. But no, we got a freaking level 15. I've seen Shinehorns that can take this thing down. Now, I wasn't going to waste the fact that we had to summon it in with resources, so of course I tried to tame it. But as we were taming it, it ran away and jumped off the cliff. We chased it down on our snow owl, followed it all the way down. Eventually, we knocked it out. Day 50, we completely forgot about our DodoRex, and I went back to summoning in other dinos. I did have another special summoning elixir laying around, so we tried it out, and summoned in this transparent savage Capra, slapped it around a little bit, and tamed it. We had another summoning elixir laying around as well, so we tried it out, and this time we got a decaying Spiner. Now this bag of bones is going to be pretty strong. Of course, we had to test out its might by taking on some Guardians. Now we found a Guardian Dodo down by the beach, so we sent out another Dreadful Rex, the one that we had, a fallen Pteranodon, and the decaying Spiner that we just got. Sent them all in to fight, but Guardian Dinos actually summon in all the other Guardians around it, so they're not actually as easy as you might think. yeah, all of my new friends got slaughtered, so it was just us, the dodo, and then its friends. We ended up defeating it, of course, but it still kind of sucks losing everything that we took with us, including the decaying spino. Oops. Day 51, I was naked. After all, I was home alone, so who doesn't like to run around the house naked? I placed down this DNA splicer that I could finally make. With this and a few creature DNAs and some egg stuff and some other stuff, I could then craft some Gaia modded eggs. We attempt this a few times during the 100 days, but they all come out as crappy low levels. I then had to take care of some dinos around our base. There were some pretty strong ones out there trying to just murk everything. So yeah, we had to clean up the trash around our base. With a clear area around our base, I made a gliding suit so I could fly around the entire map. And the Gaia gliding suits can fly for as long as you really want. There's no limit to them. We flew all the way around until we found this red drop, picked it up, and then flew ourselves back to base, because that's where we attempted to summon in our next forgotten DodoRex. This time we landed at level 85. Yes, I know, we have completely forgotten about the last one. I don't remember what happened. Anyways, we knocked out this DodoRex in between the trees and tamed it. Then we went back to summon in another one. This time we finally got a decent level. This is a level 130, something that we're finally after. This one was a little bit more tricky. It ran away a couple times and we died a couple times, but eventually it got down to this one little area. I shot it with the last strength that I needed, knocked it out, and I tamed this beauty. Then we named this DodoRex Gerald, and Gerald is going to be an important part of this entire journey. Day 52, we hatched a ton more dreadful Rex eggs, like so damn many. And we continued grinding out some more element dust to create more element for the replicator that we're going to need. This is a grind. Day 53, we killed a large purple turtle that we're going to call Donatello. If you know, you know. Day 54, and I think we're pretty prepared to start fighting bosses. So, of course, we summoned in our first boss. This is the lesser level, so I assume it's going to be easy. I'm just going to go in 1v1. Yeah, see that? That's a dodo. Now, we should be scared, right? I suppose we kind of are, because it does have a lot of health. We're fighting it, and yeah, I'll get some cinematic shots, I suppose, because this is basically what it was like the entire fight. Of course, we won, and we killed it. So, yeah, on to the next one. Now, the next lesser Gaia modded boss was the Forgotten Monkey, and it basically just makes you blind the entire time we fight. So, let's just skip to the end. Yes, we killed it. After we fought two bosses back to back, we went and slayed a few of the dinos that were around, until a decaying Giga was summoned in from killing the DodoRex. We had to make a run for it. I made a run for it straight for the cliffs, trying to find somewhere, but it was just way too fast. I really thought the Rex was going to outrun it, but it wasn't. As we made our escape, I quickly soulbored the Rex and used my Gaia glider to make a swift escape. Anyways, back at base, we finally had a chance to be able to evolve our forgotten Anki. There it is. It just went from blue to green, and I suppose it's probably stronger. Look, we never really use this. You know, the pickaxe that you get from the Gaia mod is strong anyway, so we just, you know. Day 55, I decided to stay in Asgard. I wanted to hang out with all the locals of Asgard to see if they had any decent loot or resources. For some reason, they died when I said hello. Day 56, and we're still in Asgard, this time fighting really large, scary freaking creatures. But eventually we made it back to base and we threw out our DodoRex Gerald, and he's green. Oh yeah, I evolved him, but I don't think I recorded it. My bad. Day 57, we went out on this the green Lepleurodon. We gained him from a special summon that we got earlier. And since he does torpor damage, I figured we can go out and try and tame some water dinos. We had a whole pack of sharks come up to us and yeah, we died. Day 58, I was determined to get a water tame. This time I just flew myself back down there, and this magical club that we found in a drop earlier. Nothing could stop us. After all, we were doing 1,000 damage to everything. I started taming this Basilosaurus, and it took a little bit of time, so I just leisurely swam around the ocean. Nothing could stop us. After all, we had a magical club. And it wasn't until I saw this level 135 Conga Swell. Is that how you say it? Why are all these names so freaking hard? I wanted to tame that. So we just started taming it. It was the same kind of tame, just like a Basilosaurus. We did get hunted down by a pack of wild, crazy sharks. You know, we fended them off. It was a bit easier. That Lepleurodon sucked. We did run into the Basilosaurus that we're trying to tame earlier, and it only needed one more feed. So we fed it, tamed it up, put a saddle on it, and rode around the ocean on it. All up until it was time to fully tame the Conga Swell. Conga Swells are like the lords of the ocean. They like summon or tame all the mantas around you. I don't know if it's a good thing or not, but I'll take it. We ended up just exploring the ocean of Fjordor. Day 59 was super interesting. I just spent the entire day gathering stimberries so we can get close to be able to make this replicator. That's interesting, right? Day 60, we took Gerald out to go kill some dinos around the map. Now, it's not just for fun. We need to get some levels into this guy before we evolve him again. But thanks to killing so many things, we had a lot of loot that we could destroy in the Gaia sky pool. Now we're stacked with resources. I was streaming at this point and someone told me in the chat that a Therizino was a much better stimberry gatherer. So after testing it out, we can now confirm it is much better. I should have done this from the start. I finished the day by adding an addition to our base. This way we can have a nice flat surface out the front, and once we teleport back to base, we teleport into a nice looking kind of area. As you can see, I kind of made this like a circular kind of area to make it all kind of fit aesthetically. Day 61, and the thing that we've been working towards is finally ready to be crafted. The replicator. Placing this bad boy down was just so damn satisfying. Now, since we're on the Fjordor map, it actually has an area in the Magmasaur area that we can collect some element shards. So now we can basically have unlimited element available to us, since we can craft it back in the replicator. I went down there on the snow owl, collected as much as I could, and hightailed it out of there before the big lava rock thingies kill me. Now you might be wondering why I needed the replicator so bad. I wanted it so I could make the S+ tech transmitters. These will be a way that we can spot some of the dinos that we need to go down and hunt repetitively in the grind to defeating this mod. Day 62, and it's more exploring around the realms. Yeah, that's pretty much all we did. Day 63, I had crafted up some special summoning elixirs, so I used them straight away. And the first thing that we summoned in was this decaying Jaboa, the most useless dino I could possibly gain. But the second one, we summoned in a cursed Diabear. This is pretty cool. He kind of looks like Yogi Bear if he was like covered in ash and really old. Day 64, I woke up with the urge to kill Guardians. I mean, we need to kill a lot of them to be able to get to the end of this mod. Guardian element is the most important endgame resource, and it's tough to come by. But I had crafted enough to be able to summon in this special summon. They call this Theta's Infernal Griffin. It's basically a normal griffin, but it does have some special abilities. And griffins are a great utility dino anyway, so let's fly around on this lion chicken. Day 65, and I need to explain something. The mod had changed during my playthrough of this 100 days. So now, to be able to summon in higher tier dinos, you had to kill the lower tier below it. So I went to Asgard and started killing dinos to try and summon in the higher tier dinos that I could possibly tame or get decent resources from. This was pretty grindy, so it took me the entire day. My aim at this point was to try and get enough loot to be able to summon in our very own Gaia Wyvern. This even leads us all the way over to day 66, where we're continuing to do this. And this gets really sticky when a ton of dreadful dinos summon in and start wrecking us. It gets to a really scary point, and I'm not sure if I'm going to win this fight. I keep fighting and killing and trying and biting and doing whatever we could possibly do. I end up making a run for it, but a couple rock drakes follow me and I don't know what to do. So once we get to a little bit of a clearing, I know I'm still under attack, I teleport as quickly as I can back to base. Phew. We're safe. Day 67, I was a little bit nervous to go back out into the wild again. I don't like the fact of almost dying. It gets scary. So I just continued working on my base, just making it a little bit cleaner, you know? Something a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. I also knew I wanted some more powerful dinos, so I attempted to summon in some more forgotten dinos, thinking maybe if they evolve, they're going to be pretty powerful. So first, I summoned in this forgotten Wyvern. It quickly escaped from us, so I chased it down on our snow owl just to try and kite it back to base so I could have a pretty good area to be able to take it down. Once back at base, I bowled it with a Gaia Trank Bowler, started shooting it, and then it got out and flamed me to death. But I will not give up on this one. I returned back on our Infernal Griffin, thinking I could shoot off the back of it might be a great advantage. One thing I didn't take into account for, if any creature gets in range of the Infernal Griffin will then burn it. I think I'm about to kill this Wyvern. I went back to base and put my Infernal Griffin away, and the Wyvern followed. But before I could get another shot off, it killed me again. Once I respawned, I popped back out of base to grab my stuff and looked over. The Wyvern was stuck between these trees. This was my shot. I ran over to it quickly, shot it again, knocked it out. Oh my gosh, that is the luckiest play I could possibly get. Thank you, ARK gods. We now have successfully tamed ourselves a level 130 evolution Wyvern. Day 68, and Gerald is ready to beef up and get stronger. We start the evolution process and watch this thing gloriously get more powerful. Once evolved, he turned into this glorious red veined DodoRex. I fed him a potion that will make him get to max level instantly and went straight out to test his power, knowing very well that he's going to be stupidly powerful. We went out and attacked these dinos, and look at that, over 3,000 damage per hit. We now have a dino that we can honestly say is probably our most powerful. And another massively lucky thing happened. By the grace of the ARK gods, because we killed so many dinos, this crystal stego spawned in. Now they have pretty cool abilities, but I invite you into the comment section below to tell me exactly what they are. Now it's day funny number. We went out, killed more Guardian dinos. We know that day 100 is going to creep up to us rather quickly, so we had to get way on top of it. Day 70, I continued to work on my base, but for good reason. I wanted it to look pretty for you. Yes, you, the audience. This is the part where I tell you this server is actually public. If you go ahead and join my Discord, you can get all the information to join this server and play on it. Come through, join the Discord. I'll see you there. Now, day 71 all the way until day 75, I spent the entire time just basically going around killing as many dinosaurs, especially Guardian dinos, as I'm going to need as many resources that I can possibly gather in order to be able to defeat the Gaia modded bosses before the end of this 100 days. The morning of day 76, I woke up craving some bacon. Now, not the bacon that you think. The bacon that I was after was this guy, the Bacon Skylord. This cool looking little mini dragon we ended up taming and naming Pauline Hanson. Now, if you know, you know. If you don't, you're probably from another country other than Australia. While streaming, I was also told that it might be a good idea to tame a mantis. So I used the tech transmitter to locate this level 145 Chrono Mantis, quickly took it down and tamed it. Now, to finish this day off, it was time to fight a boss. We had gathered enough resources to be able to summon it in after all. We summoned in the last lesser tiered boss that we had to fight, the Awful Bat. The fight was pretty straightforward. We kept biting it kept biting us. I flamed it a couple times, and eventually we won this battle. Day 77, I wanted a few more resources, and it was fun killing things. So we went out to kill some things so we could get some loot in order to be able to break them back down in the Gaia Sky Pool. Once we did all that, we flew back into the Magmasaur Trench to gather some element shards and snatch up some eggs. Why not? They were pretty easy to get, and we can use them in the boss fights later just as some spares and some extra damage dealers. Day 78, 79, and 80, we went out to fight some more Guardians to gather some more resources to create some more Guardian element so we could summon another boss on the next day. We did run into an Aether Guardian on day 79, which gave us enough resources to make a lot more Guardian element to make this a lot easier. Day 81, and we're back to fighting bosses. This time we're at the mid-tier level bosses, and we're fighting the Fearful Yudi. I made sure to prepare ourselves by bringing a few extra dinos, as I'm not too sure on the strength of this boss, and rightfully so. In the first couple seconds of fighting this guy, we lost 3 of our dinos that came to support us. The Fearful Yudi starts with 495k health. Once we got it down to 351k health, we lost another Dreadful Rex. 212k health, this was looking promising, but we are losing our support dinos. 115k health, and it's just me and one other Dreadful Rex. We start to lower down its health, it's starting to look like we're gonna win, we kill it. But when it dies, its corpse explodes, and it took our Dreadful Rex with it. My armor too, which was kind of annoying. So we have slain another boss, but we still don't have enough resources to be able to summon in more bosses straight away. I might have 19 days left, but the higher the tier dino, the more resources we need to be able to summon that particular boss in. Day 82 was quite a calm one. We took a break from all the craziness as we needed to get our base right. Everything was all a mess with all the crafting stuff that we had around. And I needed to go chop down some trees as I needed to go fill up our Divine Beaver Dam. We also tended to our farm inside our base. And look at that. We have a lot of somewhat illicit substances, aka hemp bud. Day 83 all the way to day 87. Yes, guess what we were doing? Fighting more Guardian bosses. But on one of the days we had to have a little bit of fun. Yeah, so we summoned in our very own King Kairuku. Yeah, the orange penguin with a crown on it. And the funny thing is, you can ride on its shoulders and run around. It's not a very powerful dino, but it is a lot of fun. I'll use him in the boss fight. Day 88, it's time to step it up a level. We need to change out of this old scrappy armor and put this on. This is called the Guardian armor. It gives you significantly more of an armor rating, and it looks kind of cool. With our new armor on, it was time to fight the next boss. But first, I made sure we had a couple of our spare Dreadful Rexes to help us out. As we're gearing up though, the boss came in straight to fight. I had to escape quickly. I got my distance and made sure I was in a safe area, and then I got Gerald out. Now we could get back into the fight. This boss was tough though. Within moments, it took out 2 of our Dreadful Rexes. It didn't want to engage much, it kept running away from us, or around in circles. Maybe it was just trying to find a good angle to fight us. We got the Forsaken DodoRex down to half health, and it was still going. This is going to take a little bit longer than I thought it would. As night fell, our Dreadful Rex that came to support us looked like it was going to go down. So I jumped off our DodoRex Gerald to try and soul ball it up, only for us to be just a little bit too late. It was now just a 1v1 situation. DodoRex versus DodoRex. Who will come out on top? We launched one last fire attack, and the Forsaken DodoRex was defeated. But so was I. Either way, I'll take it. Day 89, I backed it straight up by going to fight the Rotten Dragon. P.S. I lost my Guardian armor in the last fight when it exploded and I died. Since this boss is a flyer, it was kinda tricky to be able to fight. I took some Velenosaurs hoping that their turret mode would be able to help me out. They died quickly. But this smart little cookie dragon thingy Ended up just leading some of my Rexes off the edge of the cliff. Eventually, I kind of cheesed it and then led it all the way over to this rock formation so that it would circle around me and I could keep biting it over and over and over again. And we just stayed there until we finally killed it and it explodes. Day 90 and 10 days left to go. We now know that we're gonna have to fight the tougher tier dinos. So I wanted to make sure that all of my Rexes that we're going into battle with were as strong as they could possibly be. So we pumped levels into all of them and had to wait a little while until they healed up. Day 91, we got our fat army ready and took him into battle, this time summoning in the poisonous lizard. Unfortunately though, there isn't much to see because the lizard's so small and our army just kept munching on it until it was dead. But I have to show this off too. There was a new update to the mod at this point, and my flag was added to this mod. So if you play it, you can kind of use my flag in the mod. And here it is. Kind of weird seeing my face in this, but shout out to the mod developer for making this and putting it in the game. Day 92, and it was now time for us to fight the top tier bosses. And the first boss we're summoning in is the Bionic Listrix. It's basically just like a robotic broodmother with a big ass butt. We send in all of our Rexes to go fight this big ass spider. It hails down some meteors and some ice rock and starts to attack. All of our Rexes start munching away and it's all crazy. All you can see is our Rexes and then a big ass spider butt hanging out. We get the W, and of course I gotta take a snapshot with my trophy. Day 93, I went to fight the next top tier boss, and it was Siren Head. After killing the Bionic Listrix, I was quite confident. Siren Head came in with 12.4 million health. Even though it's a lot, we had a lot of Rexes. One thing though that I didn't realize, he has this one attack that hits the rider straight off the back of the dino and pretty much deleted me straight out of the game. After returning, I sent all of my Rexes in to fight, but he kept picking him off with that one attack. I made sure I stayed out of the fight. We just couldn't win this one. I repeated this process over and over again all throughout the day, trying to take down Siren Head, but he was just too tough. I sent in waves and waves of dinos, could not take him down, and it was the same story each time. He would just obliterate all of our dinos. Day 94, we still have tons of dreadful Rexes sitting at our base in the Soul Terminal, so I figured I'll just keep trying and chipping away at Siren Head, but it just wasn't working. I'm gonna have to rethink our strategy. Day 95, and I know what I have to do. I need better dinos. I know it's pretty late in the 100 days, but we gotta do what we have to do. So I set on out to the volcano area and took out our virulent Carnosaurus, and yes, we need to tame a Giga. We found this level 95 and I took it down as quick as possible. It was kind of a struggle as the virulent Carno wasn't really that strong. We knocked it out and I gave it some taming elixir so it would quickly tame. It was now ours. There was also a female level 50 just around the corner. I know it's a low level, but maybe with some creative breeding, we can get some decent stats and make it work. So of course we knocked this one out and tamed it also. With this new plan in place, that means day 96, 97 and 98, I had to get to work breeding these guys. I needed to try and get as many Gigas as we could possibly get in order to be able to fight these bosses. I still have 2 left to defeat. And to top it off, we actually wasted a lot of resources on the Siren Head summon, so we needed to kill some more Guardians to gather some more resources as well. Hold on, wait, before we get going into the end of this video, I want to remind you about using my link in the description below to download and play Enlisted now. What are you waiting for? Go do it. Day 99 and we're running out of time to finish this challenge. I still need to defeat Cardraz the Fearless and I need to destroy Siren Head. Now that we have some Gigas, hopefully this task will be well achievable. With a short amount of time left available, I can't afford to take any chances. I set out as many dinos as I possibly can to fight this boss. We are now summoning in Cardraz the Fearless. Once this big grey Giga spawns in, we send in all of our army to fight this guy, only for him to destroy tons of our dinos, making our screen go entirely red. I'm not giving up this fight. All of our dinos are in there and giving the best that they possibly can, except the ones to the left here. They're just standing there watching it all happen. Stupid, get into the fight. We've got it down to half health. The entire area is a mess, littered with bodies of dinos and dinos still alive attacking. I can't tell exactly what's happening with Cardraz until we get the notification on the screen that we defeated Cardraz the Fearless. Now it's time to soul ball some of these Rexes up to give them a little bit of time to heal up before we need to take on Siren Head. Day 100 and it's our final day. I'm literally bringing every dino that I owned into this fight as we cannot afford to lose this battle. My goal here is to try and spread them out in little groups so that I can send them in certain waves, as Siren Head's big attack will basically knock out all the dinos that it's fighting at that particular time. This way we have a better chance of doing more damage in a little bit of a successful way. Now it's time for our final battle. Will we defeat Siren Head? We summon him straight in, and just like predicted, as soon as he launched his big attack, we lost quite a few dinos. Our Gigas are holding up quite nicely though. I really think they're the thing that's going to help us turn the tides in this battle. My strategy this time was quite simple. I would rush in between the times that the Siren Head would use its big attack, making sure to keep myself out of the battle so I wouldn't die. I made sure I kept some dinos in my inventory just to throw them out later on, in case they got in the way and died also. Siren Head is tough. It's already been quite a while and we've only taken down a quarter of his health. I'm continuing to restock my dinos as much as I can with whatever I could possibly find. I'm not sure if it's going to be good enough. His attacks are just too damn strong. Every time that we check, our screen goes red full of death notices. It's time I bring out the big guns. I'm sending out every single Giga that I have. This ends up making a big difference in this fight. We've now got it down to a quarter of health remaining. We might actually win, although we are running very low on dinos. This is basically all we have left. I do come up with one little idea that I should have really done in the beginning. I race back to base and pick up a Tyrannosaurus. Hopefully its Courage Roar buff will make a big difference in this fight. We get back into the fight. I do the Fear Roar a couple times. The Gigas keep biting and we defeat Siren Head. That was a massive relief. And just like that, we have defeated and completed the Gaia 2 ARK mod. Until next time, people, peace.